Thank you very much. Claudio Hansen, hands-on thinking on the execution of, let's say, of a model of an e-commerce retail which is successful, specifically for Mexico. What learned lessons were you able to take from all of these topics we are discussing? Francisco was talking about personal data protection. I, as a consumer, I think this is very important. About trust that we were discussing from the point of view of Kichink. How are you addressing these topics? So, let's say to create the environment that will allow for this trust relationship between companies that eventually offer these services and the final users. I'm going to give kind of a long answer, maybe not long, but I'm going to go around it. There are two things that caught my attention of what was said. First of all, what Salma said, as you know, which is digital technologies like new electricity. I think that's like a very interesting analogy, because I think that at the beginning, electricity, when it was new, it was a topic generating, humongous advantages for commerces or the countries that would have it. And in its first iterations, it seemed that business was in bringing electricity, in connectivity, and in access. Once it was understood that the access is only what will allow for the rest to grow and to be built. It's when things become interesting. I think once the access is given the second layer, things like AWS that allow me not to be responsible for the infrastructure. When I connect to the grid, I don't have to worry about transformers or about security or the load. Or this allows me not to worry about the capacity of servers. So I think what is really going to have an impact on SMEs and the planet is the more layers we can build, the easier that base, so further layers can be built on. Well, and I'm going to the Chink case here, and we are creating a business. We have 19-minute records of someone that who wanted to get in 19 minutes, the first order by a customer. They don't have to worry about because of server issues, because they do not have the technological capacity to address it. And I think that it's in here where these layers are very important, and they are barely being born. And at these levels, it's where we can have further intervention in terms of privacy, data security. When you can say this in a comprehensive way, I have to ask each SME or each small retail for data to be safe, when big corporations like Sony cannot keep their data safe. It's going to be, beyond. And I'm speaking about something more than privacy. You were also speaking about trust. In topics of identity, of impersonation, data, theft, data security. I think this is a work that cannot be asked from the granular level up or upwards. So if all of these layers are very well integrated, this can take place, and the government is going to have a very important role in terms of the way they provide access and the way they dictate policies, and also that can provide tools such as security as a service, like the next stages. And then we as others of these retailers that can use these tools to achieve this compliance and to have some sort of contact point for the institutions, like, for data protection, instead of having to reach everyone. Thank you very much, Salma.